Just into the newsroom within the last hour, the Saline County Sheriff's Office is on the scene of a homicide investigation on Pryor Drive. That's in the southern part of the county. First responders say they found 4 people dead at the scene. The department has not yet released any other details as the investigation is still ongoing. And tonight, repairs are underway as the National Weather Service confirms that an EF1 tornado touched down near Sardis Road Friday night. Thank you for joining us tonight at 6. I'm Sarah Horbacewicz. Now, there are some trees down even here in Little Rock, and there are also some power lines brought down. We don't have any reports of injuries just yet, but right now the power is back on for people in East Saline County and southern Pulaski County. Simone Thomas joins us now. Simone, we were expecting some more rain this weekend, but nothing quite like last night, right?
No, Sarah, the remainder of the severe threat now for the weekend is going to be well to our south. Now, we do have some pictures of hail reports from last night because we got numerous reports of hail out of Garland County. Here's a picture. The picture behind me is from Hot Springs, from Carlene, Lakota. There's some hail out of Hot Springs. We talked about this a little bit earlier this morning. This is a picture of some hail out of Royal, Arkansas from Tony Timms. That's also in Garland County. But as Sarah just said, the severe threat is now going to be well south of us throughout today into tomorrow. So we are still seeing some rain across the state, but it's definitely not going to be as intense as what we saw last night. Here's the current radar at the moment. As you see, mainly consistent showers. Some of those yellows and oranges are a little bit of embedded thunderstorms. We could see some thunder with some of this, but we're not expecting that severe threat. I want to emphasize that again. That threat is going to be south of us towards Louisiana and Texas. Now, as we continue through the evening, we are going to see a break in the rain after midnight into sunrise tomorrow, but we'll have another round of rain coming up. So we'll talk more about the rest of this evening as well as the rest of the weekend and how your work week is shaping up later on in the show.
Tonight, Jacksonville police are still looking for more information about a deadly hit-and-run crash that happened earlier this month. This week, police identifying the victim in the crash as 26-year-old James Goodman. The incident happened Friday, February 2nd along the 67 I-67 access road, just north of the Vandenberg Boulevard exit. Police say the truck involved is a white Chevrolet Silverado with heavy front end damage. If you have any information that could help, police ask that you contact them immediately. The White House is firing back against a Justice Department report which this week cleared President Joe Biden from wrongdoing on his handling of classified documents. Yet it also raised questions about Mr. Biden's mental acuity. Christian Benavides reports his political opponents are using it as ammunition.
President Biden!
Damage control following that Justice Department report about President Joe Biden, in which Republican Special Counsel Robert Hur recommended no criminal prosecutions over Biden's handling of classified documents, but did refer to the president's memory at least 9 times, that it was significantly limited and appeared hazy, that he was a well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory.
The way that the president's demeanor in that report was characterized could not be more wrong on the facts and clearly politically motivated.
Well-meaning, and I'm an elderly man, and I know what the hell I'm doing.
Yet Mr. Biden, who is in Delaware for the weekend, didn't help himself at a press conference earlier in the week, meant to reassure Americans on his mental acuity.
My memory is fine.
Mixing up the leaders of Egypt and Mexico.
The president of Mexico, Sisi, did not want to open up the gate.
And then he turns around.
All that providing ammunition to former President Trump.
Say this guy can't put 2 sentences together. He can't even find his way off the stage. And then
Mr. Trump has faced his own allegations of memory trouble. Recently, when talking about January 6th, mixed up his Republican opponent with the former Speaker of the House.
Nikki Haley is in charge of security.
Out on the trail, Haley blasted both Biden and Trump.
At some point, we've got to quit putting our head in the sand and say we can do better.
Haley's still trailing Trump in the GOP primary. The next contest is in South Carolina later this month. Christian Benavides, CBS News.
The White House said President Biden will appoint a task force to review how presidential transitions examine and handle classified material. Now, anytime you hear the word election, the first thing that comes to mind is probably presidential. But there's a lot more at stake in the March 5th primary here in Arkansas. The Pulaski County Election Commission says all the local races matter too. In this primary election, you can expect to see it include your Senate races, state representatives, all the way down to Justice of the Peace. So Amanda Dickens, the election coordinator for Pulaski County, says it's something you won't want to miss out on.
It's very important that everybody participate in the primary election because that decides who the candidates are that will be on your general election ballot in November.
Remember, early voting starts February 20th and Election Day is March 5th. We have information about voting locations and times on thv11.com. Traditionally, the Super Bowl draws the most betting action of any sporting event of the year. And now we're just one day away from game time. You can expect a lot of Arkansas fans to beat a path to the sports books in the state's 3 casinos. THV11's Rebecca Brown traveled to Pine Bluff to see how one of those casinos is getting ready.
The NFL and football is our #1 most bet sport.
The Super Bowl is this Sunday, which means casinos are full with people getting ready to place their bets.
I'm going to take the underdog, which is Kansas City. I'm going to take them to win it.
Arkansas lawmakers approved casino gaming back in 2018, and the industry only continues to grow.
We have seen the revenues from last year to this year with how many bets people are making almost double year over year.
Neil Atkinson, the senior director of the sportsbook operations at Saracen Casino Resort, says the Super Bowl is the biggest sports betting event of the year.
If last year was any indication, the players had a very good Super Bowl last year with Kansas City winning in a high-scoring game. We paid out over $1.3 million in winnings last year. If we get a similar result to last year, that number is going to be a much bigger number.
According to the Arkansas Department of Finance and Administration, in 2023, legal sports wagers in Arkansas increased to $404 million, or $1.1 million on average per day. The state collected $5.53 million in taxes from sports betting last year, and Super Bowl wagers increased to $3 million.
This time of year, it is all about the NFL and college basketball. Of course, with this Sunday, it's all going to be about football.
But if you're anything like me and don't know a lot about sports, Atkinson says there are bets for you.
People are all about the prop bets. You know, we have the Taylor Swift effect even more this year, and a lot of people really do like to bet the Kelsey bets and their individual player bets too.
In Pine Bluff, Rebecca Brown, THV 11 News.
And remember, even though you'll see a lot of ads for things like FanDuel and DraftKings, those are just for so-called fantasy bets. The mobile apps for Saracen, Southland, and Oaklawn are the places that legally allow sports betting here in Arkansas. Meanwhile, the Super Bowl is second to only Thanksgiving for the amount of food Americans eat. The National Retail Federation predicts viewers will spend more than $17 billion on food, drinks, and party items. A Wells Fargo report shows chips are more expensive than last year, but guacamole is about the same, and frozen chicken wings are 11% cheaper. The National Chicken Council predicts Americans will eat nearly 1.5 billion wings during the game. And after more than 3 years on pause through the pandemic, student loan repayments are back in full swing. But with the sudden shift, some borrowers here are finding themselves struggling to pay them back. Recent data shows only 60% of people with payments due back in October actually made those payments. The Department of Education says those borrowers will be protected from the harshest consequences for now. But if you wait too long, you could face legal trouble.
That's one of the first big financial decisions that you face, and making the correct decision at that time is just so important for the rest of your financial future.
Tonight at 10, THV 11's Brooke Buckner will have some tips from an expert about navigating the repayment process and shares what could be in your future if you keep holding off on repaying those loans. It's less than 24 hours until the Super Bowl. After the break, we're going to take a look at the final preparations for the big game. Plus, the Soma Mardi Gras Parade. That was today. We're going to take a look at all of the celebrations ahead of Fat Tuesday. Simone?
And we've got more rain coming to the forecast. How long is this going to stick around? I'll have that answer for you right after this break.